Hello guys, this is me here. Today we're going to do a review on a monster that I had a very hard time getting, and it also took a while to came. It came along with this creepy fellow and this fellow. Out of these packs I got one more monster. However, he is not a Choju, but he's probably a very cool monster. I would have wished he appeared in one of the Thor movies, because this monster here is the Return of Ultraman tornado monster Seagoras from episode 13 to 14 and I think 37 of the Ultraman Jack or Return of Ultraman series. Now, despite this monster's look, he is actually a monster that can produce a tornado. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't even expect Thor to have a secret friend who makes storms. Well, except he makes tornadoes. Thor brings the storm, or whatever. Blah, blah, blah. We're not going to talk about him. We talk about this type of Thor. Just kidding. I should have called him Tor, because it's tornado. Now I get the joke. Okay, whatever. This is a knockoff version of the Spark Doll Seagoras. Unfortunately, the colors are not that correct, because unfortunately he's blue, while in the real, like in the pictures, he's actually like a grayish blue color than this. But I actually kind of like this color. I don't know, it just looks very interesting. At first, if you look at it in the camera, it looks more darker, but it is a light blue color, as you can see. He appeared, and then he actually was one of the, along with Hanzagirin. I don't know about Gamora, although I would add him just in case. So these are all the monsters that eventually see Goras's head is for this monster here, Tyrant. Ta-da! How cool is that? You'll be wondering at first, why did I brought up Black King and Gamora? I believe the feet of them could be for Tyrant's feet. I also think that the horn of Black Kings is very similar to the horn of this one, but I'm just going to show that though as the family of what is called the Tyrant family. So that's what Seagoras is part of, one of them. However, it's going to be a long story because I actually got to explain something even more interesting than that. He also had a strange appearance on another show, which we'll talk about. But first, let's just get into the details. So the details on it, like, the only thing that's detailed is like the stomach. Although I think the stomach should be more of a cream color. He kind of like his color combination is reminding me of this dude, except more of a SpongeBob color, I call it, because it's like a it's like a banana yellow with like a dark blue. Although when I looked at it at first, it looked like a teal blue, but then it's actually this shade of blue. It's almost a similar shade as Vacations, but more lighter, more of like a teal. But I actually don't mind this color, even if it wasn't accurate, because I actually like the color of it anyways. I kind of find the original color boring, but it's not like I got the ugly Arabuta figure. No, I don't mean the Spark Doll one that I have. Like, this one. I meant the one that's like a 6-inch one, which looks really ugly. It's like a pink color. This is something different. Alright, so that's the, paint job would have been like a darker color, which they actually have a Spark Doll version of this, but this is a knockoff, so it's probably going to come in different colors. But this was the only color I can find. His feet are painted. There's not that much detail on the tail, it's just all blue. And he has something on his feet, I don't know why. I like the scales on him too. What's funny is that I have some of these monsters, like Barba, and what else? King Crab, where they have like these scales. I don't know what's with. I mean, for these two, it's understandable because they swim in the water. But for Barba, I don't know why he has scales like a fish. It's strange, but it's cool at the same time. But anyway, yeah. Now, You can see how he has the nice hair looking thing or whatever. As the teeth are like painted and they have some detail, but it's not like sculpted fully. It's just more of a mold, whatever. Yeah, that's the details on him. He's more simplistic than I thought. His nails are painted too. Now let's get on to the articulation. He's shockingly, just like the Barba figure, has its remaining articulation points. Like it still has the same ones as the original. Arms can rotate 360 degrees. This one has a problem rotating, but it seems to work, and I didn't realize this. He has like a strange thumb thing. I don't know why. His tail can rotate. It's very stiff though, but I mean, he is kind of squishy. Not that squishy, but he kind of, I mean, it's sort of. What doesn't make sense, but all figures have this, is the torso. His torso can rotate. It's a very awkward angle, so it's just best you leave it how it is. In total, that would be 4 points of articulation, which is what it originally came with. No articulation on the head. That's actually better. If it didn't, I think it would look really ugly. But anyway, yeah. So that's the details and the articulation. Now let's get on to the sizing. I already showed, I believe, Tyrant. Now the problem, though, is that because he's based on the Spark Doll size, the size is not going to be great with Tyrant, although in real life they would have been the same exact size. And you can also see that the head is part of, like, it became Tyrant's head eventually, and it even has the horn as well, although his horn seems to be more curvier. He does have the little horns here, like, you know, this one too. Obviously those are Icarus's ears. I just need Icarus and Bemstar to have the complete set. That's Tyrant. What about Vakashim? This size is okay, although I think he should be a little bit taller, but this is okay because Vakashim is like 65 meters. How about another Choji, Brocken? This is perfect. Brocken is 63 meters, and he is just one height down, which would be 62. So this is good. What about Astromons? I don't think the scale of this one's going to be great. Yeah, unfortunately the scale's not right. I believe Astromons is like 60 meters. They should be at least about the same size. If not, he should be bigger. What you're going to do. I have the Ultraman that fights this monster, and it's Ultraman Jack, but the sizing is not correct, unfortunately. Unless if it was Seamons, which was actually a female version. Well, it's not a female version of seagoras, but it was a similar relative. Although they were just, because I'll explain it later. What about Doragori? Sizing is okay. What about Sedora, who's also another Jack monster? That's not bad. Or even Black King, who I showed. Black King is not a bad scale. I think he should be a little bit bigger, but this is okay. What about Erebuta? This is perfect. Erebuta is 57 meters and he is 62, so that's correct. I believe, by the way, that Seagoras is a he. Unfortunately, with this one I'm about to show, King Crab, it's not perfect. The size at first you would think they should look okay, but it's not. King Crab is 80 meters, not that size. What about a creepy ghost creature that I got with the set? And that one's actually, this is good too, because he's 50 also. He's not 60 as I thought he was. How about Naranga? Holy cow, these are hard to pull out. Scale is good for Naranga. Like it. How about Hanzagirin? Okay, that's good. What about a set there, a oil refinery? That looks quite nice. Anything else? Ooh, what about you know who also appeared? He didn't appear in the same series, but there was a copy of Ultraman where they appeared in the similar one, which I'll explain, is Velocron. Um, Unfortunately, the size of Velocron is not correct because Velocron is 50, so he should actually be taller. I decided to put because there's actually a rip-off Ultraman show called War of the God Monsters, and these two actually appeared in like the same movie. Even though they never really fought, I just thought it'd be nice to show it with it. So yeah, scale with Velocron is not great. What about Red King? Same, it's too big. Same thing with Gamora, it's too big. What about the Mr. Stay Puft Man? He's too big unless you want to have 100 meters marshmallow. There's a difference between meters and whatever it is. Now this may at first think, oh, he should be bigger, but because this is the 100 scale Godzilla, which is like the newer ones, because these are like the 100 size ones, this is actually a good scale. And so is this Mecha Godzilla. Oh yeah, it's probably the best one ever. How about King Kong? That'd be pretty nice. King Kong versus Thor's giant monster, blah blah blah, whatever. And yeah, that's all the other monsters. Oh, and if you also have it, luckily, King Ghidorah, who also has scales for some reason. Yep, the scaling I think is perfect on King Ghidorah because King Ghidorah is one of those monsters where he's supposed to be very giant, so I think that's good. So that's that was the scale. Now let's get on to the history very quick. He appeared in an episode in Return of Ultraman in episode 13, 14, and 37. In I think it was like a. Is it really? Wait, I'm trying to figure this out. Now what's weird is that we'll explain it later. He appears in an episode called Terror of the Tsunami Monsters, Tokyo's Big Pinch. The other one is called Terror of the Two Giant Monsters, Tokyo in a Giant Tornado. Whatever it is, they both appear in it, along with a monster called Sea Mons, which has that, I call the Hanzagiran position, where it's like more of like a quadrupedal type of design, but looks similar to seagoras. Now, before I mention how this happens, remember, seagoras or Seagoraf, the one that we're looking at, is, I believe, male, and he's supposed to be bigger, while the other one is slightly smaller and is also a female. All I know is that they came from the sea, and now here's the problem. Because there were, let's say, a boy and a girl, you know what happens between the two of them. Well, let's just say that if the two, like if the male and the female were together in a you-know-how way, they would actually unfortunately be reproducing so many, let's say, seagorases or sea mons. You're probably going to get one called sea maurices, whatever, and cause a lot of destruction. Now, because these have they have these horns that are very destructive. I believe one monster, sea mons, causes tsunamis, while seagoras causes tornadoes. Yeah, you might want to be careful, storm chasers, whatever. There's a scene where you can see the two of them, but he makes a tornado that is like circling around. I don't remember how the episode kind of goes. What I do know from what I hear is that there's a part where he can control the weather. Both of them can control nature, weather. He makes tornadoes. The other one makes tsunamis, I believe. I don't remember how I don't know what happens. Some people say that his horn gets broken off and they can no longer reproduce or anything like that. Yeah, that's what it says. Oh, okay. You know what? This actually doesn't have too much of a bad ending since they are very similar to that other Taro monster. I think it was like a tortoise or turtle, to where they had to be defeated, but not in a way as if they died, because what happens is they shoot, I think, Seagoras' nasal horn, this very important piece. Now, because they shot it and broke it, I guess it was one of his horns, kind of like a teeth, to where once it's gone, you cannot get it back. Because his horn was broken, both female and male monsters actually had to go back to the sea eventually. It's a very strange, but mostly pretty cool episode, because it's like, I never had or seen a monster that would produce storms. I think that is pretty cool, and I think you would have had called that Thorzilla, like a mix between the hero Thor and Seagoras or Godzilla. I'm just kidding. Anyways, yeah. All I know is that they just and the thing is that if Ultraman Jack or any of the heroes, because I mean Ultraman Jack did beat them up and stuff, if none of them stood up, they would have been, let's say, reproducing in a way that you would have had a bunch of these guys and a bunch of these girls of these, I'm just going to call them Seagorases and Seamons, whatever, reproducing in a way that it's almost like, and it can become invasive, and because it can become invasive, they can take over the planet, sadly, and just cause a lot of storms, and that could become an example of climate change. Maybe he can solve climate change. I don't know. But, yeah, they eventually retreat, and they no longer come back. Although, there is this weird story where it says something that Alien Knuckle, the one that was with Black King, had something in common with Seagoras, that he revived both of them to use it as, and them start to test Jack's strength, Seagoras. Although, it is strange though, because, oh, this is the part 2 one, because there's a part where Seagoras, I think, makes a tsunami, or one of the monsters makes a tsunami. Although I think in this one of them gets killed, because it says something that the hero, I believe, kills Seagoras after firing its horn. And I think this is at Ultraman dies at sunset. That's kind of strange. That honestly, that episode is it's much weirder or odd than that one with the Arabuda I did a review on, or any of the other ones I did. I could have just called it a 3-parter episode then, or maybe it was a 2-parter, but I wasn't reading it correctly or whatever. I don't know what happens with Seamons. Maybe Seamons is gone, whatever. Now, the weird thing about this is why I find it weird. This is the only monster I have to where it requires a partner, and I mean a date. No, we're not going to go into that topic, I was just kidding. No, what I mean is that this is one of these monsters to where they would reproduce. And along with another monster that they claim were 2 of them was Arabuda. But that's a different story. So, yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. So, this is the only monster I have to where he has more of a personal, more of like an adultish theme, if you ask me, because of, it has something to do with reproduction. That's all. You want to know what that is? You Google it, but I'm not explaining. All I'm just gonna say is it's just, he's just a dinosaur version of an animal. That's it. Bye-bye. End of story. Okay, on a side note, he's, I'm trying to think of other kaijus to where they had. Actually, I did see some to where they would have, let's say, a mama or a papa or even a wife, spouse, whatever. Yeah, I didn't expect monsters to. I don't even know why I even said spouses. I meant like they have a what's called a mate. So, yeah. Now, he did had a cameo appearance, but that was only for the monster tyrant that we saw with the head. See the head? But wait. That was not his only appearance. He shockingly had because there was this, I think it was a Korean copy called War of the God Monsters. He appeared as some generic monster that for some reason they called it a sea rhino, which I find strange. Well, to be fair, he kinda does look like a rhino, although it says that he's based on a chicken or something. That's kinda strange, or like a hen. I don't know. To me, he looks more like some hairy dinosaur that would swim in the water. I don't know. Along with another monster that was in the movie but did not fight him was Velocron. So, he appeared, and actually, you know who also appeared? Yup, of course, Seamons. Seamons did have an appear in the Korean copy War of the God Monsters too. So, he thankfully now has Seamons with him again. What a surprise. Anyways, unfortunately, these are the only two I have that were from the War of the God Monsters. But I even brought Velocron just because he also had an appearance. The only problem though is that Velocron, when he appeared in the movie, he was more of like a dream character. He didn't actually appear in the destruction. This one, however, appeared in the destruction, and they called him Sea Rhino, which I find interesting. Which, like I said, he does look like a rhino, but he's not a rhino. But it is a clever name, though, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, and along with, yeah, so that was mostly his famous appearances. He hasn't appeared in, like, the newer, movies or TV shows. He only appeared in, like, the Showa ones. He appeared in his own episodes. He appeared in the as Tyrant's head, and also had a cameo appearance in the show called War of the God Monsters, or it's actually a movie, not a show. But anyway, yeah, I overall like this figure, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I think it was nice doing a review on this. This is honestly one of my favorite monsters. If anything, I would prefer getting one of these seagorases, even if it was small, because I don't really like the one that Bandai originally made. It's not as great. It looks more, I don't know how to describe it. I prefer the Spark Doll, or maybe one of these ones. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. I will make a tornado. Wee, wee. Even better, I'm gonna do the rhino thing. Wee.